Thank you so much for making Locked on Auburn or Locked on Sunbelt your first listen every single day. Make Locked on Auburn or Locked on Sunbelt your second listen every single day. Support our shows. We would really, really appreciate it. Both of us would. Dave, open-ended question. South Alabama, they want to go into Jordan here and pull this upset. I'm sure that they're talking about New Mexico State a few years ago. If they want to do a similar thing, they have to do what?
Well, they're going to need some help from Auburn. But what I want to dispel in these things, because I don't think it's the case. When you're looking at these things, does Auburn have to play a perfect game? Do they have to play their A game and Auburn play their F game? I don't think so. All right. If South Alabama's playing B+ and Auburn throws in C-, then it's a toss-up. All right. I hate that idea that you have to play perfect, but you can't make foolish mistakes, right? JMU misses a wide open wide receiver for a touchdown against Louisville. It could have been 7-0, 3 plays into the ball game.
Sure.
They also missed a pick 6. So instead of leading 7-6 at halftime, it easily could have been 14-0 in the second quarter. And who knows where we go from there. Last week, Clemson and Troy. Troy's going down to make it. It was 16-3, and they get a foolish penalty, pushing one of the defensive linemen. So instead of kicking a closer field goal or maybe a touchdown, they go into half 16-3 instead of 23-3 or 19-3. I don't know if it would have made a difference, but you can't make those foolish mistakes, and you have to take advantage of your opportunities. I do think they're going to need some help from Auburn. All right. If Auburn's playing their A game, it's going to be very tough for South Alabama to win. So they're going to need to rush the football. They're going to need to not turn over the football, and they're going to need to take advantage of their opportunities. And if you think, like, probably some Auburn fans also think this, right? It's an early ball game. We'll see how much. Jordan Hare is going to be packed. How excited the fans are going to be there before noon is also going to play something in it. So see if South Alabama can get off to a good start and take advantage of maybe a little, trying to, get the sleep out of their eyes and start fast. But they're probably going to need a couple of Auburn turnovers and a few Auburn mistakes to win this. If you're talking about winning the football game, yes. Yeah. I think they might be able to cover because the spread is a little bit large. But winning the football game, they'll have to play well, and Auburn's going to have to play off. If they both play their A game, it's going to be a fun ball game because South Alabama can move the game, can move the ball. So
it'll be a lot of points if they both play their A game for sure. Yeah, and a lot of things you mentioned, like that's kind of what's held Auburn back under Hugh Freeze in the first 2 years. This year, small sample size, but they've done better at taking care of the football and not beating themselves. It's been 2 games this year, but they kind of had opportunities to do it against Baylor, and they didn't. They executed. And a lot of that, I think, comes to how Jackson executed versus how other quarterbacks have executed since Hugh Freeze has been here, which is what you want. That's what you asked for. That's why you went out and got Jackson Arnold and a better O-line and these receivers, because better players help you win football games. Shocker. To me, the aspect of just to piggyback what you said about South, Auburn has not started quickly. They have not started fast in either game so far. And then really even in the second half against Ball State, it kind of took them a little bit to get going. Both Auburn's only played night games so far. What happens when they scoot it up a little bit earlier? Traditionally, Auburn seems to kind of be flat in these types of games historically. So to me, I would love to see Auburn have a fast start and kind of kill any sort of hope that South has early. And then, I think it could kind of go all Auburn's direction after that. But you can't give them hope. You can't give a team that's coming in that's super fired up that wants to upset you hope. Start fast. You can get up 10-0, 14-0 early. It kind of makes South Alabama think, oh, okay, yeah, this is what we thought, could happen. And all of a sudden, you're behind the 8 ball as the less talented team.
So a couple of things about that. South Alabama has gotten off to a fast start. All right. I know the first game was against Morgan State, but still got off to a fast start.
Morgan's not a state.
Right. So they have gotten off to a fast start, scored a couple of touchdowns early against Tulane. And so we're talking about Auburn looking ahead. Yeah. But at the same time, like you said, the way they played against Tulane last week perked up Auburn fans. It had to perk up the Auburn coaches, and that only has to help. Hey, if you guys don't play your A game, the last thing we want is to have to go down and score in the last 5 minutes or stop them in the last 5 minutes, right? Yeah. This should be what I like to call a fourth quarter ball game where we're getting that 2 deep in there and seeing some of the reserves get some time. But again, if you screw around and you fall behind and then you have an untimely turnover, which I guess they're never timely, but you don't want to stub your toe if you're Auburn. And like you said, if South Alabama starts fast, it could get interesting because they would have hope.
Yeah, and then just to kind of say, one other thing that I think Auburn needs to do against Ball State, they definitely tried to force themselves to play left-handed. They definitely use that as a tune-up game to work on drop back passing, which is not Jackson's strength. He's fine passing off of RPO when it's one read or do this. I think that's his strength. That's why you went out to get him, and he's got the athleticism to follow through with that. I'd like to see them just do that. Treat this as a dress rehearsal for Oklahoma. Don't worry about, getting better at a certain spot that you're not going to use in your offense a ton this year, when it's not who you are. This isn't Ball State. I think South is significantly better than Ball State. I don't think that's a crazy take at all. I'm sure you'll agree with that. Treat them like a real opponent, because they are a real opponent. And I would like to see them run their full offense, run their normal offense. Don't try to do stuff to work on it, to fine tune things for the season. Treat it like a dress rehearsal, because your real season is about to really get going.
Yeah.
But you got to win this game.
Do you think they changed the game plan a little bit? They adjusted because the passing game wasn't playing well against Baylor, and they're like, let's just run the football because Baylor can't seem to stop the run.
Well, no, they didn't try to throw it against Baylor. Baylor had 2 high safeties the entire game. They didn't load the box, and so you're going to run it. You're going to run it against that front. Yeah. And then that's the way Ball State played too. They played quarters. They had 4 guys deep. They were like, you're just not going to throw it deep on us. We'll let you do everything else.
No.
And they did.
Well, they did. I mean, when was the last time Jackson Arnold was 24? Was that 24, 28? I mean,
24, 28. Yeah.
That's outstanding.
Yeah. Super efficient with the football. And so I'm curious to see how South plays them defensively, because so far everything has just been let's take away the pass. We're going to let you run on us. I'm curious to see what South does.
Well, as if you're going to get beat defensively, I'm much more of an aggressive guy. Why do I need to be on the field for 5 minutes as you methodically go down the field? Let's see if you can hit it over the top. All right. And if I miss a gap because you guys hit a running play, okay, that's going to happen. But let me get after the quarterback. Let me go after Jackson Arnold. There's no reason to sit back and see my team on the field for 4 minutes when maybe if I force the issue, I force a turnover, I may get beat. I probably will get beat somewhere along the way. But I'm not going to sit there for 60 minutes and watch you methodically go down the field, dinking and dunking 24 out of 28. Let me see if you can make a play over the top.
Yeah, also just if I was defending Auburn, I know Jackson can run it. I know Jeremiah Cobb can run it. I know this offensive line is pretty good up front, especially at run blocking. I'd rather, I know you invested all this money in one of the arguably best receiving corps in college football on paper, but I haven't seen you use them at a high level yet. I would make you throw to them. We're in agreement there. Will South do that? I don't know. I can't wait to see.
Well, that is their one. They are lacking experience back there. They may have some talent, but it is very much inexperience. They had a bunch of good players transfer out.